In 2024, only 27% of people who sat for the Texas Journeyman Electrician exam passed. That means nearly 3 out of every 4 people who spent 4 or 5 years completing their apprenticeship, who did everything right to get to that point, walked out of the testing center without a license. And Texas is not unique. Industry surveys across multiple states consistently report first attempt pass rates of 40 to 60% for the journeyman exam. Roughly 1 in 3 to 1 in 2 people fail on their first try. Not because they don't know the trade, but because the exam tests something different from the trade, and most people don't prepare for the difference. This video covers what's actually on the electrician licensing exam, the 5 most common reasons people fail, and what a passing study plan actually looks like. Here's the thing that trips up the most experienced apprentices. The exam does not test whether you know how to do the work. It tests whether you know what the National Electrical Code says about the work, and whether you can find the right answer in over 1,000 pages of technical code in under 4 minutes per question. An electrician who has been pulling wire, terminating panels, and troubleshooting systems for 4 years knows more about the practical trade than most exam questions will ever touch. But the exam tests code lookup speed and precise rule knowledge. Those are skills you develop by studying specifically for the exam, not by being good at the job. The most common failure story is the experienced apprentice who walks in confident, runs out of time on calculations, and fails by 2 questions. Exam prep resources and the NEC study guide are linked in the description below. Now, what's actually on the exam? The Journeyman Electrician exam is based on the National Electrical Code, the NEC published by the National Fire Protection Association. Almost every state uses the NEC as the foundation of their licensing exam, though states adopt different editions. Most states are currently on the 2020 or 2023 NEC. Some are beginning to adopt the 2026 NEC. Check your specific state's current edition before you buy any study materials. Studying the wrong edition is a costly mistake. The exam format across most states, 80 to 100 multiple choice questions, with a time limit of 4 to 5.5 hours. Passing score is 70% in most states, though Florida requires 75% for its certified EC exam. Questions have 4 answer choices. Most states allow you to bring a physical copy of the NEC into the exam room, tabbed, highlighted, with notes, but it must be the correct edition. California is the major exception. Their exam is closed book. Not all parts of the NEC are tested equally. The exam is heavily weighted toward a specific set of articles. Articles 210, 250, 300, 310, and 430 alone account for roughly 50 to 60% of exam questions across most states, according to NASCLA and State Licensing Board exam outlines. If you're short on study time, master these 5 articles before you touch anything else. Calculations make up roughly 25 to 40% of exam questions, depending on your state. The most tested calculations are voltage drop, service load calculations using demand factors from Article 220, conductor ampacity from Table 310.12 with correction factors applied, box fill calculations, and conduit fill. These are not estimation questions. They require precise formula application. The 5 most common reasons people fail are coming up next. And number 3 is the one that surprises experienced apprentices the most. Reason 1, they underestimate the exam. The most dangerous mindset going into the journeyman exam is, I've been doing this for 4 years. I'll be fine. Field experience gives you trade knowledge. The exam tests code knowledge. Those overlap. But they are not the same thing. People who walk in without structured preparation consistently underperform their actual skill level. Reason 2, they don't practice under timed conditions. The open book format sounds easier than it is. The NEC is over 1,000 pages, with no index designed for rapid reference under exam conditions. If you can't navigate to Article 310.12 in under 60 seconds, you're going to run out of time. Most people who fail on time pressure have never actually timed themselves answering questions before exam day. Practice under real conditions. For minutes per question maximum. Reason 3, and this is the one that surprises experienced apprentices most. The field versus code gap on calculations. In the field, ampacity correction factors for ambient temperature and conduit fill are often skipped or estimated. The exam always tests them precisely. Load calculations in the field use rough estimates. The exam uses precise demand factor formulas from Article 220. Grounding and bonding terminology in the field is loose. The exam uses NEC precise language, where grounding and bonding are not interchangeable. You can be excellent at the trade and still fail this section, because the exam holds you to a precision standard the field doesn't. Reason 4. Studying the wrong NEC edition. If your state adopted NEC 2023 and you're studying from a 2020 codebook, some of the answers in your study materials are wrong. New editions introduce changes, expanded AFCI and GFCI requirements, updated ampacity tables, revised calculation methods. States that move to NEC 2023 consistently report harder exam experiences than those still on 2017 or 2020. Verify your state's current edition first. Buy the right book. Reason 5. Not enough practice questions before exam day. People who pass on their first attempt consistently report completing a minimum of 500 practice questions before sitting the exam, ideally over 8 to 10 weeks. People who fail typically did significantly less. Practice questions do two things. They familiarize you with the question format, and they train you to navigate to the right NEC article quickly. Both matter on exam day. Now, what a passing study plan actually looks like, and the specific order that works, which is different from how most people approach it. Start 6 to 10 weeks before your exam date. Total study hours for first attempt passers, 60 to 100 hours. That's 1 to 2 hours per day across the study window. Here's the order that works, and it's different from how most people approach it. Weeks 1 and 2. Tab and index your NEC codebook. This sounds administrative. It is the most important thing you do. You need to be able to find any article in under 60 seconds on exam day. Spend 2 weeks building your tabbing system, article tabs, chapter dividers, key table markers. Do not read the NEC cover to cover. Use the index and chapter organization to navigate efficiently. This investment saves you minutes on exam day that directly translate to answer questions. Weeks 3 and 4, master the 5 core articles. 210, 250, 300, 310, and 430. Read the article. Find the key tables, understand what each section governs, and run practice questions specifically on those articles. These 5 account for more than half the exam. Get them solid before expanding. Weeks 5 and 6, calculation drill. Voltage drop, load calculations using Article 220 demand factors, conductor ampacity with correction factors, box fill from Table 314.16, and conduit fill from Chapter 9 tables. Do these calculations by hand, timed. Most testing centers provide a basic calculator. Some allow non-programmable calculators. Check your state's rules on calculators before exam day. Weeks 7 and 8 or from week 4 onwards in parallel. Practice questions. Minimum 500 before exam day. Do them timed. For minutes per question maximum. Review every wrong answer and trace it back to the specific NEC article it came from. Knowing why you got something wrong is more valuable than getting it right on the first try. If you're consistently scoring 80% or above on timed practice exams, you're ready. If you're scoring below 70% on practice tests, do not schedule your exam yet. The money you save by not paying a retake fee is worth extending your study window. A few exam day specifics worth knowing. Arrive 30 minutes early. Most testing centers will not admit late arrivals. Bring your government-issued photo ID. Bring your NEC codebook tabbed. No loose papers. No notes on loose sheets inside. Some states allow highlights and written tabs directly in the book, but not inserted papers. Check your state's specific rules in advance. You will receive scratch paper and pencils from the testing center. Use them for calculations. Don't try to do calculation questions in your head. You can mark questions for review and return to them. Use that feature. Skip questions you're not sure on and return after answering everything else. Most testing systems show you unanswered questions before you submit. If you fail, and based on the pass rate data, there's a real chance of that even with good preparation. Most states provide a diagnostic report showing which sections you scored lowest in. Request it. Retakers who focus specifically on their weak sections pass at significantly higher rates than those who repeat the same study approach. The retake fee is typically the same as the original exam fee. Quick recap. The Journeyman Electrician exam is 80 to 100 multiple choice questions based on the National Electrical Code. Open book in most states, 70% to pass. Texas' first attempt pass rate in 2024 was 27%. National average, 40 to 60%. The exam tests code lookup speed and calculation precision, not field experience. The 5 reasons people fail: underestimating the exam, no time practice, the field versus code gap on calculations, studying the wrong NEC edition, and not enough practice questions before exam day. The fix: 6 to 10 weeks of structured prep. Tab your NEC first. Master Articles 210, 250, 300, 310, and 430. Drill calculations timed, and complete 500 practice questions minimum. NEC study guides and exam prep resources are linked in the description below. Verify your state's current NEC edition with your licensing board before buying anything. Subscribe for the full licensing series, state-by-state breakdowns for Texas. California and Florida are already up and linked on screen now.